Mr. Nzeyi, what are you doing as the manufacturing sector before even government comes through to ensure that you keep afloat? Because at the end of the day, you have employees. You with as some of the issues or areas that government needs to sort out. But what more can government do on top of what you are planning as the manufacturing sector to do to mitigate the risks that have been caused by the COVID-19?
You know, the average household in Uganda is 5 people. So for every job that is lost, it impacts 5 people. We push 5 people into vulnerability. Just as Ramadan said, that's a key area that we need to focus on. So manufacturers and industry, we would like to keep our workforce as they are, but we need support of government. That 30% that we pay on behalf of employees will allow us to retain another 30% of our workforce. So it's incentives like, internet is such a huge facilitator, especially for the small and medium scale industries. We need to relook at that aspect of the budget and make sure that internet is accessible. A lot of MSMEs use that internet to market their business. We're talking of online businesses now that we're in lockdowns. So Dr. Muhumuza earlier on told you that URA, is expected to collect 50%, 57.5% of the total taxes to finance internal raising capital internally. Now that's a very positive thing, and for external sources to only be 28% of our budget support, that's an amazing accomplishment, and that's something that we're all aligned to. But in the short term, URA needs to, they've been having a very aggressive stance towards business in the recent past. We need to tone that down. We need a situation where URA is more empathetic to the situation that people are going through, and look at short-term change, but keeping your long-term objectives still in place. We also need to, due to the decreased demand in business, a lot of industries are facing problems with expiry of goods. Raw materials with depressed demand, raw materials that came in, a lot of them are expiring. So we need help in that, some sort of incentive on that. We talked about enforcement of local content. Local content is such a key area to spur economic revival. If government can get serious about local content, there's so much that we can pump back into the economy. And that's a very, very key area for revival and for growth. I'm very happy with the incentives that they're providing, that His Excellency is providing to local manufacturers, as I said, facilitated with tax holidays. They need facilitation with land, they need facilitation, and that will happen through the industrial parks. So I'm industrial parks. That's a very important issue. That frees up a lot of space in the city when Mr. Lee, and we have industries in the middle of town. So once you free up that, you free up so much for development. Also, we need to look at the enforcement of illicit manufacturing. We've all looked at Professor Guang's recent invention of Covidex and how quickly people have counterfeited that invention. So we need protection from government for our products. Ugandans are very innovative. We come up with great things. Government needs to protect our investment, protect our products. So enforcement on illicit manufacture is very, very important. Again, I emphasize the issue of access to finance. Yes, government is doing the right thing by lowering the central bank lending rate, but pressure has to be applied to banks so that the cost of financing comes down. Without finance, we really cannot invest in business. Also, when we look at UDB, we really do need government to pump more money into UDB. If government could put another 340 billion to bring that total amount to 1 trillion shillings and open it up to more sectors so that we can have that going through to more sectors, that would have a huge impact on the economy as the assets. We can't, in this environment, we can't all pledge hard assets like properties to access business loans. We have to evolve to a stage where you can access you can put your machinery, put your factory as collateral for your borrowing. Then, of course, one other thing that government needs to incentivize industry through is if government can talk to those businesses and say, look, instead of paying yourselves dividends, if you are able to reinvest about 50% of this back into the economy and show proof of that, then you can have a waiver of corporation tax on the balance. We need to come up with some sort of dynamic like that that can spur investment. We have a lot of industries that are sitting on retained profits that can reinvest those, and that pushes the economy and pushes expansion, creation of jobs. So there's a lot that us as manufacturers can do, but there's a lot we need to hold hands with government, and we need to be incentivized on some of these issues. Thank you very much, Mildred.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Mr. Humphrey Nzeyi, speaking on behalf of the manufacturing sector. I'll now go to Dr. Ian as we get to wrap up these. Earlier on, we were talking about cost and cost of health, but also we now know that it's a discussion about behavioral change in managing COVID-19. And how do we help Ugandans manage COVID-19 in the context of their own lives, because it's you or not any other person?
And I think it's a bit sad, the amount of distrust that exists between government and the public, and how that the messages get distorted. I don't think the government has any ill intent toward its own people. And I think that, in fact, we all want to get out of this